Hey, what's up guys? Danny and Alex, video number 2. In the previous video, we talked about 4 basic strikes for mixed martial arts. In this segment, we're gonna make some combinations using those punches, all right? So check it out. So combos, what does that mean? Just basically putting punches together, all right? One after the other. So we looked at the jab, the cross, the left hook, and the right uppercut in the previous video. If you haven't checked that out, I'm gonna leave a link in the description section below. You can check that video out first. But if you're ready, this next segment is how putting those punches together in basic combinations, right? There's hundreds of combinations we can do, but we're gonna cover some basic ones, right? The first one is gonna be the classic jab cross, commonly known as the 1-2. All right, so he's here, he throws left, right, boom, boom, right? So just like in the previous video, always remember to bring your punches back into the starting position, that guard position where it left off, all right? Most common mistake, and I know people think it doesn't matter, but it does when you get caught, all right, is this. They throw the punches and they leave it sloppy like this, all right? They're so confident into the attack that they forget about the defensive aspect of fighting, and that's the most important thing, right? Because it's not who attacks first, it's not who attacks last. It's the person that can actually guard his face or his chin, if you will, to prevent a knockout. So that's the person who's going to be the one who's going to last the longest into the fight. Whoever gets caught on the chin flush is going down, all right? So we got to keep the hands up, especially when we're talking about mixed martial arts. The gloves are very slim, right? It's not like big, bulky gloves, like 16 ounce when we're sparring, or even 10 or 12 ounce in a boxing or a Muay Thai fight. So 4 ounce gloves, there's not a lot of padding, right? So the punches are gonna go through. So we have to have our hands up so we can deflect. So now the jab cross, the 1-2, is gonna be right in the center, and he goes right here. So when we practice, we like to always visualize exactly where we're hitting. So in this case, let's say we're aiming on the nose or the chin. I don't wanna be throwing my punches all over the place. I wanna really be accurate. Even though I'm not making contact for practice, I wanna see exactly where my punches are landing, right? So we always practice in this manner. Now, notice how we're gonna take a small step. Lead leg steps it in so I can bring the punches in and cover that gap, okay? That's the first combo, the basic classic 1-2. The second combination, we're just simply adding one punch, and that is the left hook, all right? So if you're southpaw, it's gonna be your right hook. For our case, it's the jab cross hook, the 1-2-3. So it goes 1-2, and 3 is right to the blind spot. All right, so Alex, go ahead. 1-2-3. Again, 1-2-3, and one more. Jab cross, lead hook. Now, I mentioned in the previous video, there's 2 methods of doing the hook. You can throw it just with the whip of your shoulder, okay? And sometimes you really rotate the hip and the lead leg into it as a power shot, right? So practice both ways. When we talk about mixed martial arts, it's almost like in Thai boxing. It all depends who you speak to. And if you're speaking to me as a coach, I'm gonna recommend train both ways, simply because it'll depend on what you wanna do. If you just wanna throw jab cross to set up the power hook, I would suggest rotate. So that's the knockout punch. If you wanna throw the jab cross hook to set up a right hand or a right kick, then don't load everything up so you're already set up for the right side, okay? Let's go back to the combo. Jab cross hook one more time. Boom, boom, boom. Again. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. That is the second combination in this video. All right, what's next? In the previous video, we had the fourth punch, which was the rear uppercut, that right uppercut. So now we're going to put it all together. Jab, cross, hook, finalize the right uppercut. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Always bringing your hands back into position. When you shadow this, if you're fighting yourself in the mirror, if you're training on the focus mitts, on a punching bag, or with a training partner just to visualize where you would be hitting, always bring your guard back into position. Jab, cross, hook, right uppercut was the next combo. Now we're gonna switch things up. We're gonna do 4 punches once again, but this time, this next one is one of my favorite ones, is the jab, cross, hook, finalizing the right cross, okay? So classic 1, 2, 3, 2, or sometimes we just call it a 4 because it's 4 punches. All right, so jab, cross, hook, and one more cross to finalize. A lot of times the opponent is not always going to be crouching as such, and the uppercut might not always land exactly, right? So you're going to throw the 1, 2, 3, and they're going to start to cover up because they want to block the punches, and sometimes they're overwhelmed by the combination itself. And the right hand will land flush either on the chin, on the forehead, on the bridge of the nose, or even if they're double blocking like this, you're going to power cross them right onto their guard, and that's going to set up some movement or angles in a more advanced fashion. Let's go back to this basic combo first. All right, so jab, cross, hook, cross. Boom, one more time. Jab, cross, hook, and cross. So when you train this, if you're solo, in front of a mirror, or even just solo without a mirror, always visualize exactly where you're hitting. So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, see exactly the proper spot, exactly where you're hitting, and if you don't have a mirror, visualize that, right? Super important. Accuracy. Okay. Next one, we're going to shift to the same side. So what do we have here, Alex? We're going to throw that jab and then reload it into a lead hook. All right, so now a lot of times when someone is expecting your right hand to follow after the jab, which is very common, you're going to trick them and reload it on the same side. A reload is simply just positioning your shoulder back so you can come back to the same side. All right, so this one here will catch a lot of people off guard. So left jab into a hook. One more. Boom. Again, bum, bum. Again, bum, bum. One more, bum, bum. Notice how the right hand did not move. That's super important, because if you miss the timing of one of those two shots and the person reacts, at least your glove is there to protect you. All right, let's throw one more for this tutorial, okay? Basic overhand. Is the overhand an effective weapon? Check out my channel. I did cover precise details on how to properly throw the overhand punch, but today I want to cover it because when we talk about mixed martial arts, the overhand punch will have its place at the right time, at the right position, or right timing, I should say, because sometimes the lead hand of the opponent will be slightly down, or the jab would land and boom, they get rocked for a second, and then boom, the overhand will follow. Okay, so the right straight is always preferred, in my opinion, because it's a straight line. But there will be some moments where the overhand, which have a curve to it, will have its place, all right? Because it has more power now, because now we're really ramming everything down with the shoulder and the pivot of our legs into the punch. It's almost like a hammer. So this is a great punch to do. It's just that it will fall short if you're not precise with it, okay? But it has its place, and we do practice it. So the jab overhand, boom, and then flung over top. So you go here and you just really bring everything down. Imagine you're punching towards the opponent's hip, and that's where it's going to land, okay? You go through with your overhand punch. Again, bam, and overhand. Beautiful. Again, boom, and overhand. One more, boom, flung. And that is a great combo. Make sure you rotate so you don't hit with your fingers, always with the knuckles. So there you have it, guys. Some basic combinations for mixed martial arts. This is almost like a starter pack if you guys are starting out watching my channel, looking at some videos to try to focus on your own solo training at home. This is a great way to start. Some basic combos to get you started. Guys, if you enjoyed this, leave us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you
in the next video.
Take care.